Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, October 2. The construction of a drop-in center in Trelawney is expected to begin within a few weeks. The facility, which will house the homeless and disadvantaged persons, is being built at a cost of $14 million. Local Government and Community Development Minister Desmond McKenzie says completion is scheduled for early next year.
This drop-in center is critical because it is a facility that the government is providing through local government for persons who live on our streets, persons who don't have anywhere, who would need a bath, a change of clothes, need medical attention. A place if there is an hurricane or something that requires that we take them off the streets. The drop-in facilities will be there.
Minister McKenzie was speaking at the recent regular monthly meeting of the Trelawney Municipal Corporation. The drop-in center will be constructed on lands in close proximity to the Trelawney Police Divisional Headquarters in Falmouth. To date, 4 other such facilities have been constructed across the island. Labour and Social Security Minister Shahini Robinson says steps will be taken to have eligible working individuals contribute to the National Insurance Scheme, NIS. These include the increased monitoring of workplaces to register persons and improved service to contributors and pensioners. Minister Robinson says her ministry will also be developing a public education and marketing campaign to reach the target audience, especially those who are self-employed. This, she indicates, is necessary to get persons to be part of a pension scheme.
So we want employers, employees, self-employed persons to be more vigilant and to be more concerned about contributing to these schemes. Because when you think of it, 20 years down the road, Jamaica will have a social security nightmare if we don't encourage persons to be in a pension fund. NIS is mandatory if you're working, and I have said that there are provisions in the law to sanction employers and persons who don't contribute. And I believe that we might really have to look at that to make sure that when these funds are taken from your salary, that it is indeed paid over to this scheme.
Minister Robinson says non-compliance is a major factor in the lack of growth in the number of contributors, despite increased employment levels. Under the law, all persons aged 18 years and older who are gainfully employed and live in Jamaica should be insured under the NIS. Minister Robinson was speaking at the Caribbean Community of Retired Persons 2018 Living Legacy Awards luncheon on Friday. A bill to validate and indemnify the Spectrum Management Authority SMA for increasing regulatory fees without legislative authority was passed by the Senate. The Telecommunications Spectrum Regulatory Fees Validation and Indemnity Act 2018 will authorize and protect actions of the SMA for the period April 1, 2004 to March 22, 2017. Piloting the bill recently, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith explained that the formula designed to calculate the regulatory fees did not include a mechanism for annual increase.
To address this issue, and after consultation with the telecommunication operators who were affected, the authority increased the annual operating budget in the formula consistent with the level of inflation as determined by the Statistical Institute of Jamaica for the previous year. And they continued this action from 2004 to 2017, when new regulations were promulgated to give legislative authority to this act, to this mechanism.
Senator Johnson-Smith said Clause 3 of the bill validates actions taken by the authority, declaring that calculation and collection of spectrum regulatory fees during the period were properly and lawfully made and done.
The clause also frees, acquits, discharges, and indemnifies anyone who is liable to be proceeded against from liability. It provides that unpaid regulatory fees validated by the bill remain due and payable.
The Spectrum Management Authority is the regulator with responsibility for managing radio frequency spectrum. In keeping with the provisions of the Telecommunications Act and specifically Section 26, spectrum users are required to pay regulatory fees to cover their reasonable operating costs. Robotics training and careers in the maritime industry will now be introduced to students in primary and secondary schools across the island. This initiative is a collaboration between the Caribbean Maritime University and the Women in Maritime Association Caribbean. Minister of Transport and Mining Robert Montego welcomed the program and said it will introduce students to basic engineering and science concepts.
The launch of this program means that more people, particularly our students, will be exposed to the maritime sector as an option to a new and exciting career path.
The minister was speaking at the launch of the program last Thursday. Throughout the program, students will learn engineering concepts, problem solving, teamwork, critical thinking, and technical applications. 1,000 students and staff at the Oracobessa Primary School are now benefiting from a new computer lab valued at over $40,000. The room is outfitted with 18 computers through a partnership by the government with several private sector entities. At the handover ceremony on Friday, Education State Minister Floyd Green expressed gratitude.
I love the fact that you chose to invest in technology. Because if I were to say what is the most pressing priority, yes, we do have significant building needs. Yes, we continue to enhance our school feeding programs. But the reality, the world that our children are growing up in now, they have to have technology at their fingertips.
And finally, the Taylor Peace Road in southeast St. Mary, which has been repaired, was officially opened and renamed in honor of former councillor Barton Oliver. During the renaming ceremony on the weekend, local government minister Desmond McKenzie urged citizens to take care of the roadway.
We have spent money to repair the road, to correct the drainage system. Don't light no fire, no dig it up, no wash car upon it.
Meanwhile, Minister McKenzie, in acknowledging the work of councillors, urged greater responsibility and committed to recognizing long-serving councillors.
The job of a councillor is not an easy one, because the councillors are the first line that the people find. Anything that goes wrong in your community, you hear them say, "Where is your councillor?" And councillors must therefore live up to those expectations.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.